particular day. They're the only schools, the private school, that's doing it. Okay. But as of Wednesday, I will be able to go in and pay on the date that you worked that assignment. And I'm going to call off in order if you've had a game at these particular schools. Now, some of you, and I say that hopefully we the arbiters of the game, we the honest brokers, and hope you continue to be that way. Because what may happen by the end of this week, if I've written you a check, they may go back and pay you, or I may pay you again. Because those of you that I wrote a check to, when I go look at the game, it's not going to then indicate. That's why we have some issues with it right now. We're trying to work through that. But also, some people don't want to be patient, and I'm going to pay you whatever. I mean, in fact, 3 individuals, I will leave a check at their game site tomorrow because they ask, if you're asking the AD for payment, I'm going to pay you. So what's going to happen is when they go pay that entire game, you probably won't get paid a second time. All I ask is you to do the honorable thing. Just either let me know, just again, you're going to be getting paid twice for doing the same thing. But again, but now public schools, I'm going to go back and review all those public schools that haven't. If you work at any public school that pays, not necessarily pays on, except the ones that pays on site. But I'm going to tell here for this audience, like I say, I'm going to try to, it's 8:10 now. We try to be off here by 8:30 where you can go get on the other call if you decide. I'm going to go, those individuals who work the game, Purnell Sweat, West Bladen, East Bladen, Red Springs, and the like that cut checks to you. In order for me to go, I'm going to go in and probably, if you got the check, zero that out and kind of put paid on there. I'm not going to do that until Wednesday to make sure with Dragonfly, because every game that's paid, if they pay, there's no way to really signify that on without going through and paying. But I got to make sure I went in there tonight just to see, because once the game is paid, I can't really do anything to it. But those who worked at those particular schools, there's no way in the Dragonfly right now to indicate that you've been paid for that game. But I don't want to put, I am going to meet with the Bladen County AD. They have now been elevated. They have a position there. They're considering going to Dragonfly. It's a lot more accountable and very easy to do that with Dragonfly. But again, I'm going out there solo trying to get those individuals. I had John can do it a couple of times over the phone. We're trying to get people there. But again, right now in season, a lot of those individuals not really concerned about that. But again, pay is going to be an issue over the next couple of weeks. All right, it's definitely going to be an issue. Remember that NCHSA voted on that pay raise. They didn't ask, solicit any information from any of the private schools or the middle schools, but the private schools, they play the same thing. So I'm gonna have a meeting with them, hopefully by the end of the week. Probably look like it's gonna be on Friday, and kind of go through there and talk to them through how we're gonna do that, what the game fee is gonna be. All right, it's gonna be easier to count now from Dragonfly because they're gonna have basically deal with those 1 or 2 numbers. It's gonna be all the varsity games are 3 persons for the NCHSA, and the JV games are either gonna be a 2-person or 3-person. So it's about 3 numbers. That's the only thing they got to deal with. So that should be easy. Schedules. As we ran into some problems on Friday, we're going to do it throughout. I know Pete just sent me something today. Some teams have a JV girls, some don't have JV girls. Sometimes they bring 3 teams and they bring 4. When they have, yes. That's correct, Pete. I spoke to her, and Pete is very tied into the community. Some of you guys are very tied into your community in the sports, and I say sports departments, those athletic directors. And she wants to do that, but I have to have time to go down there with her schedule. She's an AD, the county AD, she's the high school AD, and she's the high school basketball coach. And what I'm doing, we're busy, but we're gonna get together. When we do that, guys, I mean, I think it's going to work out best for everybody when that happens. But if you have a situation where we had, remember now, under Dragonfly, the athletic directors put in the schedules. Okay, I put them in for the private schools. this year in the middle schools this year. So if they put that in, I would just tell you no, because I haven't talked to the AD today for Whiteville, but he went in and he showed the crew where I guess hey, look, this is what it is, because we're not going to play the blame game. Okay. What I mean by that is anytime they're within 14 days, they can no longer make changes to the schedule. And when we start the first of the year, I'm going out 14 days. Again, they can't make it after 14 days. They have to call me. In order they can't do it. If I assign you to a game, they can't make any more changes. What they can do is cancel. And what I'm doing is showing them and teaching them when they go to try to cancel it, they want to cancel a game, they need to do that. They know they don't need to send me a text message. They don't need to call me. They don't need to email me. They should simply go in there. If it's on game day, they can cancel that anytime. But what we have is that they'll go, they don't want to tell me that. And then sometimes but they put the schedules in. We had it happen at West Columbus, and it was hosting West Bladen, and in Whiteville, it was hosting East Bladen. But again, East Bladen told me that they went in there and canceled all their JV girls. They can only do their home game. I don't go in there when West Columbus is hosting West Bladen, and West Bladen doesn't have a JV girls. I don't go in there on somebody else's schedule and cancel, because what they can do is they can arrange for another team to come play them. They know so we got some things, but I don't want you all to be in the middle. But Dennis Wallace, Yvonne Galbraith, and then Pete Jones, they did the right thing. They told me again, because it happened another time where they didn't have a JV girls, but the school cut the check. They cut the right amount. They didn't give them $88 for the 2 games. They gave them $64. So again, when that happens, guys, you just need to let me know. Look, hey, I came here. We only played the JV game. Most of the time, the JV game, when they got a 4 and a 5 o'clock game, they want to change the boards to a 4:30, and they want to take a regulation game. And I appreciate Pete, you letting me know that today. I'll ask them, because normally they don't want to play 5 and 6. They'll play 4:30, 6, and then at 7:30. One other thing of note, the Cumberland County schools are trying to play. They played 4 games in one day. Opposite, the outlying schools do a lot better job, but they played on one night. The first game started on time in both locations at 4 o'clock, but the varsity girls started after one game at 7:30, the other one at 7:33, and if that's the case, you know what time the varsity boys started. Both started after 9 o'clock. The games were ended at 10:53, at 11:01, when that was on a Tuesday night. So it's a lot. The All-American Conference met last week. After that happened, the games happened that on Tuesday night. They had a meeting on Wednesday. I went on Thursday to discuss that. That's way too late for everybody. It's not just the officials that, when you go to your game, wherever it might be, you coming from Hope County, you coming from, Robinson County, Columbus County, where you come to Fayetteville, and then you getting home after midnight. You got to go to work next day. But that's the thing they was talking about, because I brought it up to them. But also, it's not good for the staff, the players, the coaches, expect anybody. So that's much too late. They're working on that now. They're gonna try to adjust that. Mondays and Wednesdays are probably our lightest days, especially for the varsity games, where they got to move something to those days. But again, Fridays maybe be stuck with it, because that right now they got the schedules all kind of pretty much set in, because we got the holidays coming up, and then we got King holiday, then we got the conference tournaments. So it's not a lot of wiggle room. But if it's going to be some days moving, they're going to try to move to Monday or Wednesday. But that is being discussed. One thing, the ejections, guys, the sportsmanship is, we had a bad day on Friday. Ejected 2 coaches, one from here in North Carolina, coach, and also we had one visiting coach. It was at South Columbus from Green Sea. They got ejected. So I'm sending that report over to the South Carolina supervisor officials, where they can handle that case. Guys, we're not gonna tolerate bad behavior. They got that thing that's going out now about bench bad behavior. Guys, that's what we have to do. One we had here locally, coach that got ejected. guys, warning, technical foul. I mean, handled perfectly. We had at the same game, we had a spectator removed using vile language. Guys, I mean, I would like to think it's getting better, but it's not. But we got to do our part. I mean, we don't engage the spectator. Make sure they game the administrator. If you have to remove somebody, go get the game day administrator. Let's do a better job. Look, put the game day administrator somewhere in the book. I mean, even for the visitors, put the game day administrator, because again, I kind of do, when I sign a book, I use an ink pen. We don't want to change nothing, but again, we might have to go to that visitors book when it's the home team. A lot of times they're the ones that's the problem. So when you go in there, have both write the game day administrator in that book. Because they're very embarrassing incident on Friday night. But again, right now, the appeal process this year is with the regional supervisor. So then I guess after it comes to me, then I guess the state will get involved. But right now, if they want to appeal, that's exactly where it's going to come. But I mean, when I'm visiting schools, we quoted out, they didn't know profanity was an ejection. They wanted a disqualification. On the night that you remove someone from the game, it is an ejection. Unless you got 2 technical fouls, you clearly know that's a DQ. But again, it's easy to go from an ejection to a DQ than the other way around. So if you have to, the coach has to know that, hey, coach, that's an ejection. They can call me. And then if we talk, but I'm not going to ever ask you to unhear what you heard or unsee what you saw. So that's what it is. It's an ejection. That's what it is. Okay. So again, doing a good job of notifying me that night, because again, almost every time I get a call, either that night, a text, or the following morning. And I tell you what, my Monday was loaded today with all the appeals, because they had games. Because a lot of time in basketball now, it's more than football, because really only game played 1 game a week. Some of those schools play on Saturday. So we got an ejection. Make sure I find out that night, with it, and it's going to be ejection. They have to do certain things. The coach has to take that course, and so does the player has to take a sportsmanship course. And prior to them getting back, I mean, coaches ejected, had a call today that he thought he could be in the gym. Cannot. All right. And same thing. One of the ADs from another area thought that the kid was DQ because the official allowed the player to stay on the bench. And of course they can. They can't leave the confines of that area unless they're accompanied by a coach or an adult that goes with them. Now, John, when I say the schedules, again, guys, these schedules constantly changing. I don't know what you're getting on Dragonfly, the notifications. I've got 2 situations where the official was notified initially about the game, but then they went in, they say they couldn't see the game. If those issues come up, just send me an email or something right now. I've had several over the last week. People have been removed from the games because they never made an action on the game. They never accepted the game. And in the other platform we had called the Arbiter, it would tell me when you were notified because that you saw the game. We don't have that courtesy now. We don't get the daily reminders. There's a lot of things, guys, that they're working on, but they have not gotten here. It's probably be here by the 1st of January. But again, when I sign you a game and sign you in that crew, that's what I want. So when you're removed from the game for whatever reason, it changes the dynamics of that crew and what I want to do. So again, don't think that, hey, I don't want you to work the game when I give you the game. Some comments been made about, well, it's 2 days of short notice. Now, we have no problem if you can't. Well, I'll say this, the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. So those who can't do that, and I've made note, those that don't want to be called on last minute, those that can't operate on short notice, that means we go to conference play, the tournaments, and we go to state playoffs. Those games are Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. So you basically telling me you can only work Tuesday because it's a short notice to turn around. So if you can't do it now, there's nothing that tells me you're going to be able to do it then. So I'm just telling you, I consider those type of things. All right. What we're going through now is the same thing we're going to go later in the season. I've made all the assignments out for this week. they're not all the games not accepted. So a couple of guys I'll reach out to that sent to, hey, I will do that tonight. I want to next week. The Cumberland County Tournament Holiday Classic is the 20th, 21st, and 22nd. The game's going to be played at 4 of the local gyms. All right. And then the championship this year is going to be played at Westover, not Fayetteville State, but Westover High School. All right. That's the championship games on the 22nd. But the other game's going to be at South. The girls going to play at Southview and Grays Creek. And then the boys games will be at I think it's 71st. Well, no, they're going to be at Jack Britt and Pine Forest, the boys. Yeah, the boys going to be those 2 schools. And then but they're going to have games every day at all 3 sites. Well, at 4 sites. And then the last day, the 22nd, they're going to have games at all 5 sites. The 4 schools, they'll have games, 3 get there, and then the last 4, all the championship games going to be at Westover. We are one of the sponsors. The Southeastern Sports Officials Association is a sponsor, and we help out in various ways as we do when we did the Eastern Regionals. We have escorts at different things. So I'll ask those individuals who not working, who's not the game day officials, to help out in certain different capacities. Now, what I want to do is use a different crew for every game. I talked to Mr. Culberth, and I think he told that's part of moving. They're going to have more monies, I guess, because we're not using Fayetteville State. So again, if you're not going to be available on the 20th, 21st, or 22nd, please close out. All right. Now I'm going there. I want to make those assignments today. When I say that, this evening, tomorrow, I definitely, and this, I've already made all the Robertson County shootout dates.
Can't run or anything.
So,
I'm sorry.
again, and I say that to say that, I mean, don't think if you've been working, if you've been going to your clinics, if you've been doing those things you're supposed to do, you may get a game. I mean, don't just think, hey, look, I know I want to get as many experience, but again, guys, I'm going in, I still see people who's not. I'm just getting people to do the concussion course. I mean, so of course I can give you private school games, but I can't give you the public school games, whether it be JV or varsity. So I still, when you get something, put a photo in. If you can't do the small things, guys, I know you're not going to be able to do the big things. Now, you know, when we go to tournament, we have the dress. It's not just business casual. We go for those games, we dress in a more, we say it's not really formal, but we wear a sport coat and a tie, a marked turtleneck. And that's what it is, guys. That's the same thing we're going to do when we go to a conference tournament, or we go to the state playoffs. That's what we do during the Christmas holiday tournament. All right. So, and that starts on Wednesday for the Robertson County shootout. And it goes through, there's the 14th to the 17th. That's probably one of the best holiday tournaments we have right now, as far as attendance and everything else, is that particular. But that's going to the 14th. Now we don't have to compete because they're on 2 different times in the Cumberland County. But that's going to be the 14th to the 17th, and the other one is the 20th to the 21st. 20 to 22nd. After Christmas, after the off-road Christmas tournament, which is held at West Bladen, is going to be the 28th to the 30th. Now I'll put those dates out. I haven't gotten anything from Anson, but I'll be talking to Anson. If anybody who's worked the game at Anson, they have not paid, I'll be talking to the athletic director tomorrow. I mean, again, guys, those public schools, they have the means to just pay it on Dragonfly. Every public school, high school is required to be using Dragonfly. I mean, especially during the spring season. Some of them didn't. They didn't do it during the fall, but that's the only thing I'm signing on. So they all are, in order to know you coming to the game, they sign up for Dragonfly. Okay, so that shouldn't be a problem. If the public school, I got the list of the ones right now that some of you all sent me who have not paid, but I looked at that particular school today, and they haven't paid at all. So there's an issue right there. Now I'll handle it. The schools that I pay, and now right now Alpha Academy, Albritton Middle School, Berean, Cornerstone, Fayetteville Academy, Fayetteville Christian, Freedom Christian, Liberty Christian, Northwood Temple, St. Patrick Catholic School, St. John Paul Catholic School, the O'Neill School, Trinity Christian School, Village Christian Academy, Spirit of Life in Clinton. That's 15 schools. Like I say, the ones that Alpha Academy will start playing from themselves at the end of the week. Columbus Christians also. The 2 schools that I know of that out there, you can tell me if that pay on site, New Life Christian Academy and Riverside Christian Academy. Anyone has worked the game at any of those schools here that I think I missed. I mean, we changed over from Arbiter, and I had to go in there. And what I'm going to do by the end of the week, probably preferably Wednesday, I think I should be able to do this thing on Wednesday. And everything knows with football, go back and do some things. And I want to close out every single person on Wednesday or Thursday for all those different schools. And what I'll do is that if the game fee is incorrect, I will go and see that. Because I looked in today, and it's something that when they went back and changed. If you had a JV game and a varsity game together, I went back today and I saw where they had the JV game at 40. In fact, it was one game I wrote down the actual date, November 30th. If you work at Fayetteville Academy on November 30th, they had a game fee. I think that's Roger Latin and that crew was there. 40 for the JV game and $52.50 for the varsity. They should both be $52.50. So again, guys, before I get this done, when all these things get authorized and I go back and do it, I will do a quality check on each game. So that has so whatever it says, it doesn't mean anything until I get ready to pay it. Okay. So I'm going to get all the finance stuff going to be taken care of this week. And then from then on, hey, it'll be every day that you work a private school game. All right. I just got to work on the public schools. Anybody has any question on that? I mean, and we gotta say, as we get to the assignments you get for the next year, they will still have the old prices on them. All right. The Dragonfly has not instituted the other ones yet. So if I make assignments the first week in January, please don't call and just say the fees are incorrect. I will hopefully they're not going to be posted out. I'm not going to post them in there because they're going to come out with something to make it more automated where we can actually get there and see it, and we can just hit one button and it'll all populate them at one time. So if you get zeros in there, hey, I understand it. All right, I understand it. But again, when you get ready to get paid, it's going to be correct. It's 8:32. Anybody, any questions right now? I don't know if John is queued up. I got 2 or 3 videos subject to your question. Like again, guys, we're going to do the traveling thing a little later. But again, when you get an assignment, guys, when you get a notification, go in there and make a decision. If you want to reject the game, hey, okay, I got it. But I try not to. Some games got rescheduled today, and it went to the 8th of January, and 2 of the 3 individuals on that game had closed out. They just because they was closed out on that day that the game moved to, and I got it. But I automatically, it sends it to that. I don't remove you because what happened today, Chris Williams on his birthday here, he had a game, school called in and wanted to move the game. And I know on tomorrow, he already had a game. So what it did is that it removed him. And when I talked to him, it didn't tell him why he was removed. The arbiter will tell you, you had a game, you can kind of see that. So if you get removed from a game on the day of, it's because the day it got moved, you will had another game or either you was closed out. But again, I got a lot of questions about, hey, why did I take you off the game? Well, all right, this quick video right here. 1 hour games here, guys. Guys, hey, what they want to do was, and I got this real short, this is how I got it, but you'll see a 2-hand push. Watch this here, right there. See, right underneath the goal. I run it back again, John. Right here, you see the guy ready to throw the ball in. And what the player does right there, but two-hand push the guy right there in the face, because you let it play out. You see both coaches, everybody react right there. Do it one more time. Two hands, no play on the ball. Guy getting ready to throw it in, and he does this. Bam, push him. Right now, boom, we got a foul here by the center. Comes in real strong. Hey, now you got what? No play on the ball. Hey, that's one of two things. That's a technical foul or intentional foul. One thing the coach did, very good game. You see, it's good crowd there, excellent game. And on the video of that whole game, that's the only thing they did, because it's at the end of the game. And the coach warning was, hey, but why the technical foul? It was more than the common foul. And when I asked him, I said, do you think it was intentional? Yes. But intentional foul would have been what? Same thing, result. When I say that, 2 shots and giving the ball back. Only they brought it in at the point of it, they were brought in at division line. Again, guys, sometimes when they send videos in, and the coach didn't really want to send it in, he talked to a couple of other coaches, and they told him to send it in. So again, all the video, sometimes the video kind of, not necessarily doesn't vindicate you, but what it does, it lets me know that, hey, you're doing what you're supposed to do. All right. I'm gonna answer a couple of those questions. John, what about the next video? Now, a couple of these here. Now, I sent this video to entire game. I don't know what he's gonna bring up next. I only sent 3. And it's all guys recent. One of them, it just happened on Friday night. Guys, when we do these video reviews and they go back on certain plays that they do, the thing is that, hey, to learn from it and to see what it is, things, because some things we can do better as far as in preventive officiating. We had, here's this here. This happened Friday night. All right. On Friday night, now you watch, now play it, and it's 14 seconds. They sent me a 14-second clip right here on the 3-point line. You're gonna see on the shot, she's gonna come up and shoot it. All right, now watch, it's gonna miss, gonna rebound out. Watch this here, on the go, boom. We got a push, got a foul. Oh, slow it down a little bit, John. All right. There's a push. Now watch you get it. No, now you didn't see in the bend. We got a technical foul. But now if you slow it down this time, now watch her right hand on the person that came in. She committed the foul with her right hand, and watch her right leg. Come out with the rebound. And watch the one in the white. Watch what she does. All right. It's just hard to see that. Just real move too good. Now we got both common foul and we got the technical foul. But with the persons with the right hand, that's what I'm saying. And look how quick, all the 3 officials, we got C coming in, we got the lead coming in, and we got the trip. Everybody, good position. Everything that's coming in. Again, when they sent me that little, they can see the 14 on there, 14 seconds. They told me about the game and some other things. But again, I asked them to send me the entire video. Okay. But when you slow it down, I guess I had it where the person's right hand, she probably looked like she struck her, and she kind of pushed, and she was the more aggressive when they got up. But again, that was quick, but he was given the preliminary signal of the push and all the other activity that happened. He came in, bam, bam, right. He went with one common foul, and he got the technical foul right there. But again, in these girls' games, now John, let it play one more time. You watch how you can watch the C coming in, you can watch the lead, everybody coming in to kind of diffuse the situation. But bam, with her right hand, she hit, and now she stepped into her again. Now, again, I don't want to signify any one particular team, because that's what coach did talk. But again, if I send you a note, again, now these teams are going to play again. They may play twice. They may be playing this week in the Roberts County Shootout. So when I send you notes, they'll go in there, just have your antenna up, awareness that, hey, there have been some issues, and it may be something, again, that what happened prior to, we don't go in there to target any particular team under a particular player. But again, be prepared where if there's going to be some mass confrontation or something like that happen. But again, excellent job by the officiating team as far as getting in there and kind of diffusing the situation. All right, the last one is, again, it's a girls' game. And that is where at the end of the game on a hell ball. Now, I mean, they sent the entire video, and I sent the video out to the crew today. So it just happened that, we were going to be meeting tonight. And I want to say, and I got some more videos and stuff like that, guys. But sometimes I never really solicit for it, but I just asked them to send me the game. Because again, people are going to show you a 14-second. They don't never tell me what I want to see what happened before that, and sometimes what happened after that, because then you get better context of what happened in the game. John, you have it at that point. If not, while he's trying to find it, anybody got any questions? Again, like I say, if those that want to go on another call, you're gonna be welcome to do that. And no, all the assignments have not been made for. I mean, I say this week because I have some people that have declined or not available. So I'm gonna do that, but it will be. It's when we get off the call before midnight, all of ones will be made. So again, if you have a game that's pending, but I mean, I need you to look at that tonight, because this games on Saturdays not all accepted all throughout the week. Again, this is going to be prepared. Again, it's every day something. I mean, it's not a day it's come by this basketball season. It didn't happen in football either, but something don't happen today. I have people out for COVID, and I don't know when your quarantine is over. I just kind of, all I have to look at is the blocks. Those of you doing a good job of sharing when you live out and work in other areas, saying, hey, Earl, I'm gonna be here. If it's a game out here, I'm gonna have my stuff with me. Again, that helps everybody. Again, with these JV games, I try not to send people a long distance for just the middle, just that JV game. However, it happens now. Again, when we go to 1 January, not so much. Because I tell you where I started 25 miles. I mean, it's a 10, those within 10 miles of school, then those within 25, pretty much there. But for a JV game, $71 times 2, that's $142 for a JV assignment. When it used to be 88, that's a significant increase. So again, hopefully some of you all, Steve James, I know was signed on the call earlier. Those that was at the clinic we had on that Sunday, and we talked about the board of directors meeting. We talked about ad hoc committee and all that, and he talked about going to East Columbus, and I told him his next assignment is going to be there. Steve James went over there that Tuesday, all 3 games, and he did the JV game, he did the varsity girls and the varsity boys. He refereed one of the games, he did 2 varsity games, and he sent me a note. Again, guys, so a lot of times we laughed and joked about, hey, how far it was. He drove from Wadesboro all the way to East Columbus. So again, kudos to you, Steve. Hey, well done. I mean, the crew did an outstanding job. Again, I mean, him and I think Luzine, him and Luzine both did all 3 games. Elizabeth came and joined them for the varsity games. But again, guys, I mean, it was now that would be a lot different. You just think if you do 3 games under the new pay scale, this it's not just becomes a hustle. It's become like, it's not gonna just pay a bill or 2. You can, I mean, if you just do the math, a varsity assignment is $154, 77 and 77. The JV game is $142, $12. But again, with that comes what? Expectations. We got to do better. We have to do better, guys. I'm saying, so what I mean by that is that, hey, if you're an varsity official, I had those 9 officials in there last night, and a couple of them said when the varsity person actually helped them, told them a couple of things. Guys, you don't just, you go out there and watch a little bit of that JV game. If you have something to help somebody, again, guys, they're looking at us. Hey, because they're going to say that, oh, that's what y'all want to, y'all need to be on strike. All those comments going to come. We're going to observe them, guys. If we don't go out there and we don't look the part, or we don't hustle, we don't do those things, we can expect that. But again, what I like to do, I don't like the idea of assigning mentors, but I'm going to have a list of names of people out there. If you can, Daryl Page talked to me and a few of the guys, Larry Morris, they're willing to help. I mean, but some people, you got to be willing to receive that help. But we really got to get better. Because on the 1st of January, when I make those first set assignments, guys, I expect, and so the public expects a difference. We can't be late. You can't be not dressed. You can't be doing things haphazard. I mean, again, do we deserve it? Yes. But some of the people who's no longer officiating, they did the yeoman's work. You just not doing the benefit. You entered here at the right time. Okay. So again, I'm going to have some voluntary clinics. I may ask you all to come out. Again, I say Larry Morrissey, Daryl Page, when it reached out and said, look here, they want me to kind of spread it out. Hey, Errol, give us some things to do, give us a few people to work with. But again, if you know, I don't want to send nobody out there, and I got about 10 or 12 individuals. If you want to know the names, your names on the list, I'll tell you that I can't send out there right now to do a game. You need someone, a strong person with you to get you through the game. And now, when the games start coming in, the conference play and everything else, I'm going to need some people to stand on their own. Okay. Now I got a call tonight for somebody that need a clock operator at the high school. And of course, one I can tell you, there's a middle school here that uses a clock operator. Yeah. But again, I want people to be able to perform on the floor. John, you got the last video? If you can't get it up, don't worry about it.
Hey, I can't get it up where I'm located at now. It won't open up.
Okay. All right. Well, I will show that. All it is, guys, is one of the first game is the very first night. And I sent it out to the crew today. Crew, and they just go down looking at that at the end. We ejected someone for fighting. It was in the girls' game. Girl came off the bench, tied up on a loose ball, got a hell ball call, and got up and then squared off with another one. Someone came off the bench. But again, yeah, we're getting those disqualifications and those ejections. I mean, and we just got to stay to it. I mean, again, we're getting ready to get into now teams seeing each other for the second or third time. Guys, again, let's get in there and do but we got to do better on the uniforms. I will tell you that. The uniforms, guys, we're letting a lot of stuff go. I mean, all we're doing is making that for the next. I mean, just tell them if they want to play, they're going to get straight. I mean, we're going to say, look, you just can't play tonight. We got to do this here. You got to do this here. Let's do that. Don't leave it to someone else to clean up, because that's what they're going to deal with, because we already had it. I mean, I got phone calls a couple of times. If it's a middle school game, hey, if I'm close, I'm coming. They know that. Now I'll tell them again. Sometimes they might think it's a bad rule, but it's a rule. We're gonna stick to it. All right, it's 8:46. Anybody? Merrick, no. If it's on that list, no, it's not on that list. I will tell you. Now, if I invited you to come to the clinic on Monday, on Sunday, I only had 9 people show up. Now, I've seen some of you all work. Again, if you want to continue to get games at that rate, I mean, I don't know what the rate going to be for middle school. I got to talk, like I say again, I got to talk to those 3 ADs, but it's not going to be that much different, because really, some of our middle schools, they start their games at 4 o'clock, and so do a lot of JVs. And I'm not going to ask people to go to do a game for a middle school game at 7 and 6, when right down the road there you got a game that you're going to make $142 versus 7 and 6. That doesn't make any. So economically, I will share that with those individuals that are doing it. But regardless, I expect 100% when you go out there. I mean, again, especially now, if I sign you and you normally a varsity official and you working on a middle school or JV game, hey, it's for a reason, not being demoted, because every game deserves good officiating. And when you go there, I mean, that's part of what I want people to see, is that, hey, we don't have just varsity officials. We have officials that can work. If you're a varsity official, every level. I mean, sometimes it needs, hey, you can show that person how to handle that coach. We got a couple coaches been coaching they're a JV coach, but they've been doing this for a long time. Whether they never had a varsity game, but they down there getting ready for retirement. But they just and we gotta say, we're doing a little bit better on the warnings. We're doing a little better on the warnings, but sometimes we letting it go way too long. And again, I told the officials last night about being perfect in their sets. Guys, there's no reason when someone's standing in the wrong position on timeout to start the game. Administering free throw. I mean, when they can and can't, run an inline. I mean, if you see that at the timeout at halftime, make the adjustments. They're not stopping the clock. If they're not calling off color, if you don't know whether you're shooting or it's a spot, that means obviously the person who called a foul or didn't do a good job. Let them know. Let's get better. Okay. that's all I have. Like I said, again, I don't want to go too long because again, I don't know what they're going to discuss that. I mean, some people who've gotten the emails that do things, but again, I think we're heading in the right direction. I think the state listened to what we as the officials, like I say, 7,400, 3,200 participated. 42% of the people answered the survey. I mean, so basketball, we probably got the most, our pay increased the most because of the single game fee is now applied to both games. So I know it's a $54 raise for JV. Two-person JV went from 88 to 142. So that's probably the biggest jump. I mean, ours went from 105 to 154, so that's $49. But in basketball was the biggest. I mean, everything else we got 10% above. I mean, 10% across the board. So again, I feel good about that, and I hope you do too. As we go into the holidays, hey, get your uniform straight. I went to a game the other day, and obviously the guys in scene were maybe about 30, but the pants was like they were about 33, 34. Look like you're supposed to be in the gym, guys. Go in there, look in, and let's use some mechanics. Use the proper mechanics. Two on that double file, not double file, but on the double whistle. Let the person in the primary go over there. If you got to run a little bit, run. Too much walking. I mean, 2 steps. I mean, just again, it's going to be good over the next couple of weeks because all the comments we're going to get. I mean, that goes with the territory. It goes with the territory. Anybody got anything for the good of the group?
Hey, Earl, this is Daryl Page here.
Yeah, go ahead, Daryl.
It's like, could you cover just 2 things for me, maybe short and brief?
Okay.
One of them is the dress code for the tournament, so that everybody can understand how they're supposed to dress, as well as dress code when you go to the varsity game. Tennis shoes and all these type of things is not how we're supposed to dress. And another thing is, can you address the individuals coming to the game super late when you got a pregame start at 5 o'clock, 5:15, guys showing up at 5:50? That's unprofessional, and it should be unacceptable for the guys to show up like that. So, and without notifying the referee that they're coming, so that they're going to be late. Can you address that for us right quick?
Yes, guys. First of all, dress code, varsity games, guys. No jeans, no tennis shoes at all. Okay, no excuses there. Business casual. You can wear a polo shirt, jacket. I mean, that when you come in there, it's some type of dress shoes. When I say that, no tennis shoes at all. You can wear some Dockers. You can wear this. I mean, again, that's as far as that's for any varsity game throughout the season. When we go to tournament, again, there may not been, but the mock turtleneck, jacket, tie, pantsuits for a young lady. I mean, this is the holiday season. That's what we wear for all tournaments, to include holiday tournaments, conference tournaments, state tournaments. All right, that's it. Now, if you don't, just close out. You just tell me. I mean, we don't want to sort anybody, tell everybody, hey, you say we got to dress for success. If you need to, hey, that's part of some type of just business. We don't want to, because that's not to insult anybody. But if you have any questions, just call me. Hey, again, just like we do with your shoes, hey, don't have enough. I mean, it's not the black and white. Take a picture and you just text it to me and I will tell you. But again, as we know that, like I said, business casual is the minimum. That's for the regular season games, all varsity games. The coat and tie, the jacket, a mock turtleneck, that's going to be for all tournaments. Now we have what? The King tournament, Martin Luther King tournament. That's a tournament. On that one day, on the 16th, that's the holiday. We go out there, that's the dress. Now, lateness, guys, again, when you going to be late to pregame, that's a common courtesy thing. You have no respect for the crew when you don't contact them. But when I have the referee contact me as you're going out the floor, hey, when they're going 15 minutes prior, they don't know where you are. I can't find nobody in your place. Remember, I'm required to have 3 officials at every varsity game. Those 3 officials. So right now, at 5 o'clock whether you're going to be there at 5:15. You know whether you're gonna be there at 5:20, whatever time, you know. Again, have more respect for the association, myself, and just the position. Because I may have to get someone else there. Let me make that decision. Don't make that for me. Now we hold up everybody. But to walk into the door, to come out on the floor, and like I say, not only that's unacceptable, that's very unprofessional. I mean, I don't believe in, taking people games away from, but it's hard. I can't count on you if you can't get to the game. But most of the time, you get your GPS. Don't tell me you're gonna be there at 5:20, knowing you're not gonna be there at 5:40, 5:45. Again, have some respect for the crew. I would tell, a lot of times, I got called that last week, and one of the officials offered to go pick the other official up. It's not the first time that happened. So if again, let's play games with this here, especially like I say, it just looks very unprofessional. Before we get started, they're looking at it as a crew. And don't tell me you text them, I don't know if you got it. Look, early in the morning, if you have an office meeting or something like that, it happens. I wanted you to do the game. So don't put me in that position where, like I say, but I can't count on you. You become very untrustworthy. That's what it is. I mean, again, if you're gonna be late to the pregame, don't just say I'm gonna be late. If you know pregame starts at 5:15, what time are you gonna get there? Because if you're gonna get there at 5:30, you know you gotta be on 15 minutes. Hey, I would rather the referee, if you get that information, you call me. Because again, especially on days where we have other officials available. Because we want to start, I tell them all, and some of those guys, when I went to the middle school meeting, I told those middle school, I want to start on time. We got 4 games in one night. The only game we possibly start on time is the first game. And we do not want, that's a bad look, especially now. At any time, especially now, we don't start on time. And this happened at a tournament game and everything else. I will have some people there as alternates that can go on court, because what we're not going to do is do that. I mean, things happen. We had at the championship game last year in Cumberland County, there was a referee coming in, somebody hit him. And it was a seamless transaction because somebody was already there. We did it because things happen. But again, let's don't do that. Have more respect for your teammates in the association than do that.
I have
Anybody
a
got
question,
anything?
Mr. Daniels. Yes.
Yes.
Is it okay if we come dressed already? I mean, does that make a difference coming in
Yes.
business casual as opposed to
Yeah.
dress?
For the varsity game, it does. Now, if it's a JV game, no, and middle school, you can come dressed. When I say on the varsity game, only if they don't have proper dressing attire, a facility. But I mean, I always ask them, because we have both male and female. We have, again, I think we may not get there this year. And I believe that we may not get there this year as far as the accommodations, because the ad hoc committee that was a big thing as far as what we've lost since the pandemic, since 2020. Very seldom do people get a shower and get things. They don't have it, but it's not adequate dressing facilities. Again, let me know that. Because I don't want to put people and say, no, hey, that's a place I don't want. They got this little small room. Hey, we still got COVID here. I don't feel comfortable doing that. So again, if it's a situation like that, 100% we'll do that. But let's on a case-by-case basis where you look, because I'll go out and look. Most times when I went to Anson, I went to different places. When I pick up a school, I always go out and say, where you gonna have officials dressed? But if it's inadequate, by all means, let me know and I'll make a decision on that. But I want a drive in the varsity assignment, not in uniform. Anything else in the chat? Okay, that's good. Now I got a varsity game here at a school, like what I say, at Fairmont. If you have one of those schools, that's what I need to know. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out there, especially in the month of November. Anybody who went to a school that pays on site in the month of November and they haven't got paid, just send me that school and the date. Like Fairmont, 11/21. If you have not received, now I talk to, but because what I want to do is a certain way I got to go in there and do things, and I don't want to just assume you got paid, but I got to clean that up. But hopefully everything where we go into, like I say, the tournament, I would say not probably necessarily, but as of Friday, we're gonna go in and every single day, because I mean, I'll hopefully I'll have this set up, and if not on Wednesday, I'll know on Wednesday, and I'll send a message out. I will be, because I'm gonna pay the Robertson County Shootout. I just got to make sure, and I think they're gonna go to Dragonfly Pay when the bookkeeper there retires. Some of them set in their ways, they don't want to do it. So, but again, anything else in the chat? Let me see. Let's see. Got that. All right. Congratulations, Anthony. National semifinal game. Hey, if y'all want to see, y'all having a cold weather gear, y'all can get Anthony Mena. You feel here. I'm pretty sure you'll be glad. Montana State and South Dakota State. All right.
We got some old military snivel gear.
Oh yeah, we got something for you. All right, you hear that, Roscoe Graham? ESPN 2, 4 o'clock.
I already warned him.
You get okay. All right, all right,
I think it'd be a brisk 1 degree on Saturday.
all right. There you go. All right.
It's 9 o'clock.
Okay.
Errol, I was asking about the private school varsity 2 officials. That's all.
Well, no, I mean, and Roscoe, you bring that up because I'm pretty sure some, I mean, Liberty and some of those with the new fees, because that's one of the schools that was going to until I took over. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have that conversation. Some of them gonna ask that, but the only 2, now those, if you, I don't know if you're fortunate enough to get a game in Spirit of Life, but they do 2-person and they just starting. I mean, they, of course, I mean, they call themselves varsity, but they're not varsity, but the only 2-person varsity I have right now
is the one tomorrow.
I got Riverside. I say that Riverside plays that, Cornerstone and Spirit of Life. I mean, I mean, Liberty's the only one I would think would try to go to that. I mean, but
Yeah, you said you had the game tomorrow is Wilmington.
no, it is. I know but they've been playing. They play, but right now their game fee. If that 2-person, if you're lucky enough, I mean, not tell you that is I would tell everybody here, for everybody here, that is a reward. If you've done a good job today, because again, you got a middle school game and a varsity game, and they pay that's $110. You get more than a varsity assignment. So, but again, because it's only 2 persons, but it's not really varsity, but because it's 2 people, I charge them $110. I mean, when I say I charge, that's strictly what the officials get. I think you can do it for Riverside. They have one varsity game is $80. But again, I will go with them. Again, I know for those schools, no one had a forewarning that we went, well, we asked for it immediate. So we wanted really 1 December. We wanted, as soon as they met, we want that to be in effect. But I think when we briefed on the 25th of October, they probably talked to some of those member schools, because some of the superintendents are on that committee, superintendents and some principals. So they had a little, but the private schools have not. And when I talked to them, you know, the Trinities, the Fayetteville Academies, Fayetteville Christian, for the middle schools, but those smaller schools, they'll probably go up as well. But they gonna go. But I'm sticking to all the schools at NCI-SAA, the independent schools. We're gonna stay with 3 people on the varsity, and the only one I would consider probably, because they're not an NCI-SAA school, is Liberty, with paying those, because they're gonna pay the JV fees and everything else. So we're not gonna. But again, like I say, it's a win-win for us. I mean, for those, especially those people that even on the JV, to get that type of money. And so, like I say, but we need to get better in order. I want them to feel like, hey, you deserve it. When I mean like that, but we got people not doing the small things, not coming to clinics, not doing shit, but they can come to the games. So, but the only two, and I'll list that out probably on Thursday, by the end of the week. Hey, the schools that I met with, if anything changes, but for the most part, we're gonna stay with the 3 for all varsity games, except for those really, really low density, because those schools not even in a conference. That's not a independent school conference or high school. That is, some of them is part of the North Carolina Christian School Conference that we would go, like I say, but again, my thing is that when I go out to those middle schools, and I'll talk to Anthony, we'll talk about, I don't know what they're gonna do there for those middle schools there in Robertson County and Jimmy Williams, what they're gonna do, because what it's gonna be, the same officials, but they ask official to work somewhere for $75 and he goes somewhere else, not far down the road, you get $100 for it. That's significant difference. So we need to kind of be somewhat in close proximity about the price and be realistic. But like I say, right now, the schools, we know what we're getting for public schools. We know what that's going to be for the high schools, but not the middle schools.
Somebody had a hand raised. Larry Pace has his hand raised.
Go ahead, Mr. Pace, Larry. Larry,
I'm trying to get my video on.
okay, we ain't got to see you. We hear you.
Yeah, I had a play where it was underneath the basket inbound. And after the passer passed inbound, first the defender started to pass. Talked in a meeting about contact the player out of bounds.
We're gonna wait till you finish first, Tommy. Larry, how about try that again? Larry,
Yeah, mute your microphone. Good gracious.
After the ball in,
no, we're not ignoring you, Larry. You might want to type that in because I don't think anybody heard that. Unless they heard it, you'll see people laughing. I mean, does anybody?
He was getting walked on. If he could say it again, we can help him, but somebody
Okay.
had their mic on. We couldn't hear him.
Okay, Larry, how about try one more time? Yeah, I know I didn't. Okay, maybe he gave up. All right, if everybody signed in, we finally got this up to 86. I thought we did good because we had 50, but again, guys,
all right. Can I try one more time, Mr.
yes,
Davis?
yes.
All right. I had an inbounds play under the basket. As soon as the girl passed the ball inbounds, another girl immediately scored. The girl who was defending the inbounder, the person passing the ball in, went out of bounds and started to block her out and push her, towards the wall. The contact out of bounds is what I had the question about.
Okay. What's your question?
Is it illegal for her to block her out of bounds? When, to try to make a box out play on a girl who's out of bounds already?
Is it illegal? Yes. I mean, she never allowed her to come inbounds.
Right.
Right. Now, obviously you said so that was a girls' game. That was before I got there. Because I think was that at F Academy?
No, it was at Max Abbott.
The first game. Okay. Now, all right. Yes, I mean, what did you do?
I counted the basket and called delay a game warning for the girl not allowing the other girl to not come back in bounds instead of calling a technical. So that's where should I call it a technical? Should it be a foul because she's contacting her out of bounds? It kind of got me, the out of bounds the contact out of bounds.
Now, was the contact legal or illegal?
Illegal.
Right. So you got to foul that in, right?
Okay, that's why I was.
No, I'm asking. Okay.
The basket did foul.
No, you said when she passed the ball inbounds, the person scored the basket.
Right, immediately, like it was straight to the layup. It was
so it doesn't affect the shot. Then
right,
because you were the lead. I mean, when you were the lead, you the one you administered the throw in, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So the ball went in. I mean, but you didn't call a technical foul. You called delay a game.
Yes, sir. For not allowing the girl to come back on the court.
Okay.
So
here's what I want you to do. I mean, that's good. When I say that, I want you to look at the 4 delays on a delay a game.
There you go.
All right. You got to know because then I want you to go look at it because hey, when we talked about this yesterday, because you're the one got you got the text for me I want you to come out yesterday because those are the type of things when we need to look in the case book or you rule book and look at the 4 authorized delays when you're gonna get somebody to delay a game. just ask people the questions. And now that one, I say that one again, you had that game probably a week ago, correct? Last Tuesday. Right?
Yes, sir.
All right. See, since Tuesday, you had a game at F Academy on Thursday. Correct?
Yes, sir.
And now it's what, Monday. It's a week coming. And, you know, so again, now Daryl Page spoke up because again, when I worked with him in our game, we had some at halftime, but we had some in our game before in our post game. He would bring out this thing, the book or the rules book, a case book. We look it up before we go home. Okay. And I don't want everybody to learn from this question right here that, hey, now let's not do that because now you'll go out and do another game. And you still don't know what you did the last game. So again, things like that, that's a good question. That what should I have done? That's where you can go look and you learn something, both people on the crew. Just don't come on the forum. And I think Tony might want to share something about that too, because when he oversees that the administrator, and that's what a lot of people get upset with, people just come in, they just come and they don't even try to look it up themselves. They just come on the forum and ask everybody else for the answer. I mean, Tony, isn't that I get some comments about that. Hey, if you can't find something, that's one thing, but just not to look at it and wait to come and just ask others. That we want people to be thirsting for knowledge and saying, okay, where can I look at this here? But look at those, it's 4 delays. So the next time we talk, Larry, I mean, I don't expect you're going to tell us, okay? Tony, you have anything to share about that? I mean, you oversee those forums.
Yeah, there's a lot of folks out there who their first response to things is to call a delay a game. But as you mentioned, there's only 4 delay games. And you really have to get in the rule book and know those 4 delays to be able to handle it properly. In Larry's situation, I don't know as I would have anything unless there was illegal contact.
Right.
The thrower is legally out of bounds. It's her responsibility to get inbound.
Come back
If
inbound.
the girl's blocking her out, then that's just nothing in my book.
Right. She stepped out because when she stepped out, she could have reached to get the ball to throw it in. It's hard to, hey, you assume that she's blocking out, but again, she steps out of bounds, the balls come through the net, she's out of bounds, she can throw it in and go. But I want to say about the contact. Anytime there's contact but you got 10 bodies running around, there's gonna be some incidentals, some different things, because again, that's, and sometimes when you ask a question, because your partner, that's a good thing to talk. Hey, I thought about doing this here. Did she really delay her from coming in? Was she trying to come back in bounds? They got the basket. So again, but Larry, I want you to look at, hey, when we talk again, you will tell us about the 4 authorized, when we get somebody for the delay a game. Now, a couple of explaining about normally the other tournaments, Pinecrest has a Holiday in the Pines tournament, and East Columbus normally does something after Christmas. They have like a 2-day thing with Columbus County Schools. And I know Anson. Now I'll be talking to him because I'm not sure we're going to do anything because he started paying on a timely manner. I mean, the last payment I had last year, and I say it was last school year, but it was this calendar year, was it February 11th. It took a long time to get paid at Anson. But I looked in it today because someone worked the game on Friday and sent me an email and said they hadn't got paid because that was less than 24 hours because Friday now to the day. But when I looked in there, I noticed I don't think anybody who's worked at Anson. So I'm going to talk to him tomorrow. But those are the 3 tournaments I've heard that they're going to have that they have not given me the information for. And that's Pinecrest, East Columbus, and Anson. But all the other tournaments, I mean, the off-road 28 to 30. Now, like I'll put it out tonight. 28 to 30 is in West Bladen. Cumberland County 20 to 22. And in Robeson County, it's the 14th to the 17th. With the raise, we ought to bring our own drink and snacks. We shouldn't beg for candy here. Well, that's again, we should never somebody put that on there. And let's be prepared to that, guys. Again, because I'm saying even that's a good comment to kind of say, look, we should, but just when you to ask for something when you get, I mean, because you just expect those type of things. I mean, but again, I mean, those who surveyed, those who've been on officiating for a while, you know, people working in different states, they get different amounts. We kind of looked at the committee, looked at the 4 bordering states, Georgia, South Carolina, Virginia, Tennessee. I mean, the ones we looked at, that's what it's. But again, because it's such a significant raise, and when they did it, it's one like they didn't do it off the school year when after the calendar year's in and started in like next year. It started right in the middle, and it also on the heels of, hey, they're going to be on the strike, they're going to do this here. So I don't know what kind of publicity it's going to get now, whatever decision that the North Carolina officials make. I mean, because they said basketball officials, so we don't know how that's going to come out. But whatever it is, I mean, just be cognizant of that when we go there. That was one of the things we said about, hey, what they could do, better officials recognition, hey, have that, you know, drink, cannonball, those different things. But if it's not there, like say, probably for the, and that's something, let me know about it, and then let me work at my end versus you there on site when that happens. But again, I would like to make sure that, hey, when you put that clock at 10 minutes for halftime, that you have access to the locker room. Now you don't be walking around 2 or 3 minutes waiting to get into that. Again, we only have 10 minutes to get, we'll really have 7, because at the 3 minutes, they're gonna buzz the horn and we gotta go back on the floor. We need, all right, so if that's not happening, definitely let me know. I mean, it might be just the night you work there, but still I would like to know about it. Anyone else, anything else? Oh, okay. Well, again, I like to say, we don't go look for trouble. Like I say, I wouldn't have, this was scheduled, this is the last one that was scheduled, was the 5th and the 12th. But again, Tony and I, we'll put it out. We'll have that. But again, everybody should be, even if you haven't done, I mean, if you haven't registered for the SSOA, if you did those things, had John Owens go there, if you paid, he did it for you. But again, I made note of those who didn't, because again, hey, if you can't do the small things, I know you're not gonna be able to do the big things. So again, if you get requests for your card, that should be automatic. If everybody should be requested for their card, you met all the criteria, you got all your stuff. That way, if you want to go to the game sometime during the holiday tournaments, all I ask is this. Now they got a certain area there for whether it's hospitality, different things for the game day officials. If you're not a game day official, if you're not there observing in some kind of official capacity, hey, don't go there. I mean, we're gonna have parking. It's gonna be different. They're trying this for the first time at a high school. Some of the guys have been around before we would start going to the county arena, before we start going to Fayetteville State and other venues. We used to have them at high school. It should be, we got some good rivalries, so it's gonna be the game gyms will be tight. But we're gonna have parking areas, they're gonna have other things, and the support personnel that I'll reach out and ask to come help us, you know, make this thing work. It's gonna be certain areas for them to park and everything else, but the hospitality thing is going to be for the game day officials. All right. And if you want to volunteer to do something, just let me know. Like I said, I have a list I'm going to turn in to David Coburn and all the people who's going to do that. They're going to have a walkthrough sometime early next week, probably on Monday, because it starts on Tuesday. But what we're going to do on Wednesday over to Thursday, what we're going to do over to Westover. Because you get keys, they got the different locker rooms. They got 4 locker rooms over there. You know, we're going to have on championship day, every game over there going to be a championship game. So again, be safe. Those that are traveling during the holidays, I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. This is the best time of the year. Everybody seems like, for the most part, in the best mood, except when they get on the basketball court. That wasn't that Friday night, but hopefully, as we go on to the holidays, everybody looking forward to it. Most schools are out on either the 19th or 20th. Like I say, be safe. And if you can come to any type of training that's going to be out there, please come out and do that. Okay, I got some comments about if somebody wants to share with something they can now. Yeah, we got, when you out there doing things, guys, I understand it, but wait, the training opportunities you have, let's get it done now. The mistakes you're gonna make now, let's do it now. That's what we had a lot of good things last night for those 9 people that are there. But I'm gonna get some more veteran officials. Like we talked about Anthony Maynard. Now also this weekend on Saturday, there's something called the Shrine Bowl. Shrine Bowl is Carolinas. North and South Carolina's playing. Next year they're gonna play at the same time, state championship. We didn't have a state championship football game this year, but Daryl Page is going to represent our association, North Carolina, but especially our association, Southeastern, in the Shrine Bowl. So congratulations to Daryl, and that'll be a great time down there visiting the hospital and all that. So for you and your wife, I hope y'all have a great time down there in Spartanburg this weekend. And that's all I have. I think a couple of people here, if you have no problem seeing the games, but I know I talked to Hayes Clark last night. I asked a few to stay on. If something's going, I mean, you need some help with Dragonfly, because again, guys, this is it's going to be like one stop. It's going to be everything. But again, if you have an issue, how about just stay on the line for a few minutes, and we're going to address that right quick and see what we can do to get that fixed. But everybody, if you go in there, and please go in and see and check your games tonight. I mean, it's now, or something like I say, it's about 8 people still have not accepted the games, and I don't like to go to the last minute. So before you get removed from the game and then give it to someone else, just take a look at it. But I will, hey, for those Clyde Matthews, Kevin Lovett, Alan Banks, I will be Alan, you at Sandy Grove. I think Kevin, you're at Max Abbott, and Clyde Matthews at Ann Chestnut. I'll stop by your game sometime, either the first or second game before you leave.
Earl,
Yes, sir.
is Anthony.
Yes, sir.
And not trying to extend longer. Did you find anything in regards, or did you talk to?
Yes,
any of
I
the
mean,
schools in
nobody's
regards to
doing
fifth
it,
quarter?
Anthony, but and Greg is gonna give me something in writing, because they did it. He tried it one, and I'll send that to you tomorrow. Because like I say, I'm going over to Sandy Grove. I'm going over there tomorrow, and so I'll have something in writing for you.
For the high school.
Yeah. No, he did.
Right, I'm talking about, I've had to come up with questions in my varsity games where they ask about player.
Okay. He has it, and I'll get it. So.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Anybody else? Not guys, go on. Tommy, I'll be seeing you. We're gonna make another presentation, all right? I'm gonna do it sometime. Hey, Eddie, I'll just tell you now, we may do got the state championships and all, and every kind of awards we got. I did talk to lacrosse, soccer at our last board of directors meeting, and we did that last year. I mean, in football, I mean, the guys, Frank Johnson and his crew, Chris Williams and Chavis, everybody, we made award presentations during the halftime of those holiday events. So, Tommy, if I get it back, so we're gonna reenact it. All right. So I think aren't you working on Saturday? You working?
I'm working Saturday. I'll be at Scotland Camp.
You got. Okay. So, what are these games? So we're gonna call. If I have something that we're gonna do. Because lacrosse and stuff, they want to do that. We're gonna be pushing recruiting and different things for the more officials and all the different sports. So again, guys, if I have something like say, I know DJ was on here, although we would bring you back out and give you the all-star days. So again, just you guys, I'll be got to, that's a good PR thing.
Yeah.
We want to make sure, so I got Thomas thing, so I know that's the way you're gonna get it. Yeah, we can come out
I
there.
appreciate you, man.
He represented me. All right. So Daryl, if Daryl, you still here, DJ, just make sure, hey, it's gonna be one of those, I think I got you working Saturday too. So we're gonna make that presentation once more time.
Yeah, we'll make sure we get it taken care of. No problem.
Oh, there you go, Daryl. All right. Hey, so we go, just expect guys, again, because we've already done that thing. I mean, but that's what people want to see. They don't know, they just think we do our games. We didn't think, we all the local games. But I mean, those are things are very deserving and of that recognition. So again, we're going to make that have a little thing we'll read and bring you out at halftime. And hey, all right. And but again, that's because, like I say, the other sports they liked it. They brought it up and asked me, "What do you do that?" I said, "Of course, hey, we can do that because that's a good time." Because again, for those other sports like lacrosse and soccer, I mean, they don't, hey, when are they going to do it? They just do it within the only person see them is their other peers in their state clinic. So this will be a good thing.
Appreciate
Hey, Mr.
it. Thank
Davey,
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to be sure of the schools that you pay.
Yes.
I have a few games that I haven't received pay for, which is fine because I have a follow-on question.
No, it's not fine. Did you listen when I called them off?
I did, but
15.
it was a lot.
Okay, which
It was a
one?
lot of information.
I know.
Liberty Christian,
Yep, I called Liberty number 6.
Fayetteville Academy,
Yes, Fayetteville Academy, that was number 3.
Fayetteville Christian.
Fayetteville Chris number 4.
Okay, those are the 4 that I've worked that I haven't received pay for, and like I
Right.
said, it's okay. But my follow-on question is, I haven't paid my $100. I think it's the association fee or the national fees or something. Is it possible if you can take that fee out of there, or do we need to do that as a
Yes.
separate transaction?
With your permission, yes.
Okay, let's do that.
Because I've had I've had 2 other officials that did that, but I'm telling you, now I will tell you, without calling their names now, varsity game fee is $105. So you guys, when you get a $5 game, that's what it's gonna be.
Right.
Yeah. Yes, that's no problem. I mean,
Okay.
but again, that's why I want, when I do this here, if you don't tell me, it's the other way around. Because again, and
Right.
everybody gonna get a chance at some time to work. Because I don't like to keep the same. Like I say, notice how you call all the different schools. And again, as I hope we're doing pretty good together as far as I try to, when your daughter has a game, if I give you an early game, and one thing I did the other night was, I think he was working though. If they got them 4 quad games, I'll try to get you an early game. because
You've been
I know
doing a
they're
great
gonna love
job, Mr. Daniels. I
it.
appreciate
No,
it. You've been doing a great job.
we're doing it together though. Okay, all right. Again,
Thank
but
you.
you're doing a good job accepting the game. And so again, yeah, when you get, actually, you'll find out on Wednesday, because I'm gonna pay those games. You'll see it in there, and I'll make a little note. Okay.
Good deal. Thank you, sir.
All right. All right.
Okay.
Let's see here. Who the guys who got that? When I send the video, if I don't ask no question, that video is just for you. All right. Again, I mean, I don't ask for it, but sometimes they send me the huddle. They send the huddle. But sometimes just so you can go. And if I don't have any questions, that's all I don't have any questions. I'm gonna just send it to you. You don't. You can get, whether you get together on it and do something else like that. Terry script. Oh, okay. So Hayes, I got you. You said Terry got you straight. Went to middle school game today. Oh,
Yes, sir.
Okay. Kevin Williamson, how about if you still on that? Tell us a little bit about the 5th quarter.
5th quarter at Over Hills Middle School,
Right.
they had the coaches officiating the 5th quarter. And when the time limit was up, they brought out the actual middle school crew to work the regular game. And what happens is, like, the girls' middle school, the girls' 5th quarter starts at 3:45. And then they will have the girls' game, and then the middle school boys will do their warm-ups, and they have the pregame preliminaries, and then they start the 5th quarter boys game.
Okay. So they did it before the game.
At least that's how they work
That's how they did it over Hills. Okay.
at Over Hills
Again.
Middle School today.
Hey guys, remember now, this is our meeting.
hear me?
It's not mine, it's our meeting. So you have some information, because again, that's something I think they tried before. I know they did in Hope County. That's why I reached out to Garrett, and I looked in the North Carolina High School Association handbook, and they had something about the 8th quarter rule. They had nothing about the 5th quarter. And that's why I say, but that's, we just got to make sure. So that's doing it. They did it forward. So I'll reach out to the AD over there, Don Young, and see if they have something in, because most of it had it in writing about how they're gonna do it. So good. I appreciate that, Kevin. And thanks for that email. I'll be talking to Westover Middle School tomorrow too. So anybody else? Oh man. Okay. Whoa. Rodney Bowden. Rodney, were you able to see that game? Rodney, I see it. Oh, okay. I was trying to find.
Which game is this?
For tonight, the 12th.
Yes, I'm here now. We're leaving now.
Okay, I mean, were you able to see? I mean, I did. You didn't able. I had to go in there and accept it. You said
Oh, yes, you accepted it for me, and yes, it was there. Mhm.
I know. I mean, but you said, see, that's one thing. Because somebody else, Chris Williams, told me today that yesterday he couldn't see a game. He got like you did. You got a notification, but then you didn't see it. Like you said, you can find it. I just want to make, because I'm saying, guys, when you have something that's kind of odd, guys, again, Dragonfly is something we're all going through. All right. It's new for me, it's new for the schools, it's new for you. So when something happens, it may not just be happening to you. So that's why I asked. But I know.
Yes, I saw the game for tonight, but I didn't see the game for last week still.
Okay. All right.
The
So
one that
that's
St. Paul's.
The problem that I talked with Chris a little earlier is
Okay.
Dragonfly games, sometimes you have to pull it down to refresh it, or either
Right.
shut the app down and open it back up, because your phones are programmed not to use data. And so they just bring up the most recent version that they got. And so that's what caused the problem with Chris. So if that's the problem, your past games, now once you've done a game, you have to click the tab that says past games.
Okay.
And then
Right.
it will
Again.
show it up.
Yeah. Yeah. But again, when you have issues like that, Jesus, just pass them along. Because like I say, you're probably not the only one that's going through that type of thing. All right. And we're gonna say, as we go through this here, but hopefully now we'll go through some on Wednesday. We get everybody, we get caught up on all the games. And again, like I say, I had a game on my Dragonfly for 12 o'clock on Saturday, but I did not sign because that game was in, and I say somebody else signed it on the weekends. But again, guys, that's all I have. Like I say, let's say if you can come out and support in some kind of way, hour to whether escorting the teams or doing different things on the 22nd, if you're available. I'd like to have you come out. I mean, again, watching each other work. I'm gonna try one thing for Cumberland County now. I will try to get as many people to have a different crew for every game. A different crew for every game. All right. So that's gonna take a lot. And that's a lot of people. And tournament fees is that those games now before they go up, is that game that's an $80 game. They're bringing people in. But again, it's going to depend on you. Again, when you do the game now, that crew won't leave until everybody on that next crew is there. So when I say that, because we're gonna need again, that's a lot of moving parts. And I'm gonna start that tonight, and I'm gonna try to get everybody, many people that's available to work. That's a good experience to go do that in that holiday tournament.
Yeah, hey,
That's all I have. Say again. Yes, sir.
They was talking about the not seeing their games. Sometimes you have to go up and hit my games, and then it'll show up as well. Because I know it happens to me sometimes. It says I have a game, but it won't show up. So when I go up to the top and say my game, then it shows up.
Okay. Everybody hear that? Again, guys, that's again, let's help each other out, because like I say, that's one thing when Rodney told me that, and then when Chris told me that, I would have to say, look, have to assign either John or assign myself a game and try to go back and see, because I don't see it, I just see it from the sign-up point of view. But if something happened, it's not just probably happening to you. And like I say, I was on the phone with Dragonfly for like an hour, 23 minutes on this past Friday, trying to finalize and get all this stuff straight with the finance. Because I know once it breaks through and get it straight, and I appreciate people's patience, because again, if I'm just writing checks, it's never they're not gonna do that. But again, on Wednesday, if everything goes like I think it should, I mean, everybody, we all get caught up. And then you have a tracking system there, because they don't make it easy to, track the pay if you don't use it. That's how Dragonfly does their platform, is that all the payments. That's how they generate their income. So they definitely want that to work. So now I'm going to be doing it for all the private school, with the exception right now of Alpha Academy and Columbus Christian. That's all I have, y'all. Hey, thanks. And like I say, we'll wait to see what happens, what the other basketball officials do. I mean, if something comes out, but again, hey, just be professional. And they like I say, I think they did for us basketball. We got a lot more than a 10% raise. We got that and that was a big thing. Now, the next thing, what I would like to see is that within 24 hours, I mean, it's every school, not just private schools, but every school make that the standard that we pay within the 24 hours. And I need James Sanders, are you on here? I thought I saw Sandman. If he is, if Sandman's still there, Sandman, speak up. Because I have that check, that Chip signed. That check is good for you to negotiate. So I need to, if you're not on the phone call, I will text you later and get that to you tomorrow. All right, gentlemen. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have. Have a great evening, and keep your Dragonfly updated. All right. That's all I have.
Thank you.
And I saw TJ, I saw Tom, TJ, if you're on here, just text me a time tomorrow between 12 and 2 that you're not going to meet, because I got to show you something too. Oh, Sandman. Okay, Sandman in the waiting room. Let me get him. Man. As soon as he gets there, that's last. I got something for. All right, he's coming back.